Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin, see what's going on. We're going to double check a few things. I want to talk about how awesome this pattern is here, though, of course, after breaking free from this bullish triangle while it was very, very messy yesterday. The price action inevitably bottomed out with a higher low on both the hourly and the 4-hour time frames. That's super important to allow for us to likely continue higher here. So again, crazy volatility aside, I think we're looking pretty good here. All right, so we're going to take a quick peek at the back-end liquidation data here first, kind of see what's going on. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, comment below. Thanks again for always hitting the like button if you've been watching for a while. I got some really awesome devout followers. Really, really appreciate you. You're a great part of my life, so thanks again for just being awesome in the comments and just obviously supporting the channel in whichever way, shape, or form. So let's take a quick look here at the last 7 days of Bitcoin and recognize we're getting closer to this upper heavy concentration liquidation. Okay, so we kind of see this red area. Each one of these red bars is like $2 billion worth of liquidation. Okay, and again, that's above the most local high here at about 106.7. We're at 106 right now presently. I think there's a distinct probability we're going to see 107 and 108 here hit. But we got to recognize that based on yesterday's analysis, that range of 107 and 108 is a pretty heavy concentration of resistance. Okay, so just because liquidation's there doesn't mean it's going to happen, but the truth is we're going to see some kind of selling pressure when we hit that level. If I recall correctly, I think there was a lot of open interest in that range. Either way, we take a look here at the larger, more macro perspective here. We can see it's dissipating a little bit, but there's still a pretty heavy concentration at 110. There's a very large amount of liquidation there. So somebody's got a pretty heavy bag there with a high leverage short that, oddly enough, still hasn't secured profit. Anyways, take a quick look here. We can see liquidation delta is still bearish, right? This does imply, once again, we're seeing a lot of selling pressure. So the truth is Bitcoin is not like super bullish right now by any stretch, but the patterns, the price action, based on kind of like the structure of the trades, or more so the charts rather, it looks very, very good. Okay, and again, complete disclosure, we're averaged in at about 103.7, 103.8 for our long position on Bitcoin. So I'm feeling confident we're going to hit our profit target at 106.750. Again, when I set profit targets, folks, I set them just below key level resistances to ensure that you get filled. You don't want to be like 107 exactly, because then you're going to be in line with a bunch of other idiots. Okay, so again, just best practice in general is to do that. So let's take a quick look here. We can see liquidation. Sorry, correction. This is open interest. We can recognize that there's a lot of folks heavy at 105.6. Right there where the price action's at right now. So that tells us a lot that we've broken somewhat of a threshold. These are probably also breakout traders too, which I don't necessarily love breakout trading myself. I'll do it occasionally, but it has to have a lot of confluence, okay? I feel like based on the chart structure, that is present, and this makes sense. Having said that though, 107, 108, these are those two areas of open interest, basically implying we're going to see some exit liquidity, essentially some selling pressure once we hit that range of 107 and 108. So if you're going to have us take profit target, it may be ideal to have it in that range. Also bear in mind too here on the daily time frame, we still have yet to close above this level here of 107, right? Basically, it's more like 106 if you were to kind of pull it back here. So we do have a macro resistance range here at about 106 to 107, again, depending on if you use candle wicks or candlesticks. But I prefer candle bodies, just based on the simple fact that kind of gives you a firm indication of where the price action closed, not like the extreme high or extreme low. All that being said, the daily time frame still looks very bullish, right? We're still above both moving averages here. We're over 50 in the RSI. Stochastic, yes, it is pulling back a bit. It does that a lot though, folks, and it's a bit of a false positive in a lot of ways. I think people put too much emphasis on stochastic, but it can be used correctly in a lot of ways too, right? It does kind of help us understand generally where we're at. So here's a good example. First of all, the last time we saw a stochastic swing to the downside was right here. Okay, this is where stochastic shifted. So obviously that caught that little pullback. And the same thing here as well. We saw a stochastic shift here too. But you got to recognize there's some pretty significant overextensions and the price structure wasn't looking phenomenal. In other words, we had these pretty significant uptrends where the price action was maxed out. It was roughly running about 9 days straight into that direction. So if we look at stochastic right now, while it is diverging, we don't have 9 days of continuation. We have 9 days of consolidation. That's much better, right? So me personally, I think that's generally a very positive and or favorable sign. Just something I like to look for. So when it comes to the 4-hour time frame, we also want to recognize too that we're above all moving averages here. This is what's super awesome. So price gets all jagged, breaks through its triangle pattern, pulls back for a bullish back test and continues higher, right? Well, it's not exact science, or it's not like exact, it didn't follow to a T. The structure is important here. Look, higher low is important. That's generally how you see a breakout for any type of rectangle or type of pattern. It's more so the higher low or lower high pattern depending on its direction, okay? So to me personally, seeing this not be this, since it didn't come all the way down to here, that leads me to believe we're in pretty good shape and we're probably going to continue higher because the bears are effectively conceding at this level, okay? So that's generally a favorable sign. 4-hour time frame, over 50 on the RSI, money flow index is calibrating. It gets thrown off again with these high volume wicks and candle bodies. So keep in mind, money flow index can be a flawed statistic, so just be careful using it on Market Cipher or other ones. I mentioned that specifically just because it is a confirming factor on that tool, and you need to recognize how it works first in order to properly use that. I'm willing to bet you get a lot of false positives on that indicator. All that being said though, stochastic RSI, MACD converging, there's a lot of reasons why the price action is more likely to go higher here, breaking this 106K threshold. So again, as per usual, I'm going to say that, closure at 105, 106 today is going to be super substantial, very helpful going into the weekend. Another thing that's helpful too, just to kind of throw it out there, is this rejection off this rough estimate about 59.2% for Bitcoin dominance. Keep in mind, this is the effect, not the cause. The price action isn't moving because of this. This is just a reflection of how the market's moving. But the truth is, staying underneath that range with Bitcoin dominance coming down, altcoins are starting to recover. And as we see altcoins having a good day with Bitcoin dominance increasing, that's actually even more favorable, okay? So I think alts are in a pretty good position right now. You're probably better off taking longs with alts than you are considering a short, right? Unless it's massively overextended. We actually do have a short position open with XRP, but that's a different reason altogether. I can explain that more later if you want. Either way, thanks again and congrats to our community members for some nice profits on our Chainlink trade. We had to adjust some of our current trades that are open right now to ensure that the stop loss didn't trigger, maybe consider closing at invalidation. Thankfully, none of them invalidated yesterday. It was really close, of course, but we adjusted our profit targets on 3 longs that we have open, and they're all currently in profit right now, okay? Very close to hitting their profit targets, so congrats on that. Last thing I want to talk about here is the hourly. Just recognize here that the Ichimoku cloud is once again confirming that we're above the cloud. Keep in mind, when you go range bound like this, it can be somewhat of a false positive, but I think the key takeaway here is the lagging span being free and clear. That's a very, very good sign. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll post a playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord as per usual. I'll send you an update there. It's all going to be available here. And in case you weren't familiar with the last 7 days of trading, this is basically the way to summarize it. Okay, so that's pretty much a joke there. But either way, super happy that this ended up working out the way that it should have. And obviously tune into my Twitter, Telegram, and Discord if you want to stay abreast on those things. I hope you all have a good rest of your day, though. Thanks again for being an amazing part of my life. We'll see you soon. Take care.